Hi everyone, Saneman here. This video is brought to you by a donation from Mark Starr, and here's what he has to say. Hello again, Sandman. It seems to me that everyone is missing the real story of the Bella Thorne case. Yes, Bella Thorne got $1 million in 24 hours from guys who anteed up $20 each to subscribe to her OnlyFans. And yes, she got a second $1 million 24 hours later from dudes paying $200 each to queue up for her promised nude content, while paying $3.99 each to read the message that this was even a possibility, and everyone was talking about it. What I hear no one talking about is what I believe the real story is, and that is female nature on display. Bella Thorne was 5 days away from cashing a $2 million paycheck, and all she had to do was spend 5 minutes snapping cell phone pictures of her mine shaft. And like so many women, she could not have bothered to even do that, because once you give a woman something, she doesn't want to make good on her side of the deal. Most women I know love to brag about how much something they can get for nothing. They're emboldened by the society allowing them to get away scot-free with most wrongs without punishment. Even here people are shaming the Sims for ponying up $2 million for pictures that could not be much better than what you would find on Google search, which is why they're willing to pay $2 million. They expected the premium content to include gynecological exam shots. The hoes are mad out there because OnlyFans has reorganized its entire business model in response to this, although they dare not even admit that it is actually a response to this, so as not to blame Bella Thorne. See women getting away without being held responsible. OnlyFans is the only one place where women have got to tell dudes, give me $5 to see what it gets you, only to take the money and run, saying in response to later questioning, I never promised anything. Well, Mark, thanks for the donation as well as the topic. I'll get to my thoughts about Bella as this is the second video I've done on this topic. But first, let me tell everyone about today's sponsor, Executive Clearance Electrolysis. If you're a frustrated guy that can't get a date because you're hairier than Bigfoot on Rogaine, then this electrolysis service in Buffalo, New York is for you. Maybe you're one of the handful of female Sandman groupies trying to get rid of your unsightly mustache, as well as the beaver that lives above your gash. Either way, James Walker has got you covered by uncovering what's hidden under all that hair, permanently. Sponsor link is down below. Anyways, now back to Clown World. First of all, Mark, thanks for some new insight on this now old story. It's obvious that OnlyFans changed their policies because of her, but they never said it was because of her. Obviously, they didn't blame her because they were worried that their user base of thoughts would criticize and attack her online, and that might lead to her throwing a lawsuit at them. I never even saw it as OnlyFans not blaming Thorne because of ulterior motives. Thanks for pointing that out. As for this video, I almost called it Who Cares About Thora Birch instead of Bella Thorne. In the last video, I called Belle Delphine Bella Delphine. That's how forgettable these women's names are. Either that or I'm dyslexic and think that Thora Birch or Bella Thorne sound the same. Most of you probably have no idea who Thora Birch is, though. She's the girl from American Beauty back in 1999. She was cute back then, but today she's as good looking as the high school secretary from Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Maybe she can go for that part if they ever make a remake. The truth is that in 5 years, no one will remember Bella Thorne, except the tens of thousands of women that have now seen their income cut dramatically because of her. But again, not because of her, according to OnlyFans. In my last video, I mentioned that OnlyFans and YouTube are going to become increasingly filled with desperate mainstream celebrities looking to make money during the coup and beyond. I'm glad that the good people over at Queen's University agree with me that OnlyFans is not a platform for exploitative celebrities. But I believe that that's exactly what it's going to become. A place where sad celebrities like Will Smith try to become YouTube stars so their wives will keep sleeping with them after they've been cheating on them. In my last video about this, I said that casting directors wouldn't hire Bella in the future because of stunts like this, and it looks as though I'm right. Because here's what she has to say, and I quote, "People have this idea that I'm this crazy party girl or this crazy druggie. I'm really honest and that gets me into trouble, but at the same time, most people who meet me will apologize. They say I'm sorry. I read all these things and just had a certain image of you in my head. And now that I meet you, I feel so bad because I realize that's completely untrue. And I should never have read anything. The amount of people I've heard this from, directors, producers, studio heads, even friends, I hear it all the time." Unquote. She's clearly doing damage control over the OnlyFans story, as well as playing the victim of using social proof from people that may or may not exist that she's actually a good person. People calling her a druggie isn't all that big of a stretch. She owns a company selling drugs. She also wasn't being honest when she said She was going to deliver the nude photo of her finely coiffed snatch mat to give all the simps out there a heart attack. She's taken a squeaky clean image and dirtied it up with OnlyFans, a drug company, and her stunt becoming a porn director. Many people in adult entertainment and drugs would do anything to clean up their image so they can enter the mainstream. Meanwhile, she's in the mainstream and doing everything she can to be seen as an outsider doing edgy things that'll only ruin her career. Most likely she was just hoping that she could collect all that money from simps and then no one would notice, and that the story never would have broken out into the mainstream media. Then again, maybe her publicist told her that doing that would bring way more money to her drug business in the long run, if the world saw her as a bad girl. According to Cinema Blend, most recently Bella Thorne said that she had joined OnlyFans, hoping to make a movie with the Florida project director, though the director, Sean Baker, later debunked the idea. People make big mistakes all the time, and they don't deliver. Recently, I was watching a Barbarossa video where he apologized for taking tens of thousands of dollars for a book that he promised to publish many years ago, but he never did. He says he's giving out refunds now. He's the creator of the current MGTOW Philosophy 2.0. He says he's been dealing with health problems for the last year, and that's why he hasn't been out in the public eye. Bella has a history of scamming people. In 2019, Lauren, a small business owner that makes jewelry, was contacted by Bella and said that she was excited to send over jewelry to her because Bella had 23 million followers on Instagram, and she thought a shout-out would do wonders for her small business. She sent over $1,500 worth of stuff and never got a mention. Stuff happens. Life gets busy, and Bella probably didn't remember the jewelry being sent over because she had tons of other stuff going on at the time. $1,500 is probably such a tiny amount to her that she didn't make it a priority. She also screwed up OnlyFans for 500,000 creators that are now going to be paid monthly instead of weekly. Of course, OnlyFans could have basically used all this as an excuse to hold on to that money for a month and collect interest on it. She will have made them millions of dollars in interest alone, in the long run stolen from thoughts. My biggest concern is that as more celebrities start to use sim platforms like OnlyFans, the big stars will crowd out the smaller producers, and the average sex worker won't be able to sustain themselves from it. Of course, that's what happens in every industry or online platform. First comes the gold rush where it's easy money, and tons of it. Then the bigger fish come in from other markets smelling the blood in the water, and they rush in and take most of the money for themselves. Major stars like Will Smith and Bella Thorne might just see YouTube and OnlyFans as places to get extra pocket money while they're on lockdown. But it's the place where many women are relying on right now for their survival. As for the small business jewelry maker, I'm sure Lauren is going to get plenty of work from the articles that she's selling her story to. She's helping to ruin Bella Thorne's career even further for a measly $1,500. She thought it wouldn't be a big deal if she didn't keep her word, and look what it's done to her. She needs to hire a publicist toot sweet to advise her about what to do next and what not to do in her career. But as I mentioned in the last video, she's like Arnold Schwarzenegger banging his housekeeper. He thought he could get away with anything and everything in life because he was on a decades-long winning streak. Thorne has been doing well her entire life, starting off as a child star. She hasn't lost before, regardless of how badly she behaved. But now she's an adult, yet she's still acting like a teenager. People in Hollywood are going to get tired of her very quickly. There are tens of thousands of younger and better-looking women coming to Hollywood all the time that are looking for a shot, and they're also better behaved. It's only a matter of time before she loses her fame and fortune to one of them. To end this video, I just wanted to discuss this hilarious graphic called The Simp Economy that I ran into recently, showing us even more of the cognitive dissonance found in today's women. She takes simp bucks and spends them on Amazon, making Bozo rich, as well as his ex-wife who now gets half. So he's probably not laughing as loud as you see him laughing in this graphic. Then the thought complains about capitalism and the growing wealth inequality gap. She probably wouldn't be crying about it if she bought some Amazon stock, or if she saved her money and invested it in something that actually appreciates in value over the years, unlike her hiney. Yes, we are seeing massive wealth inequality in the West today, but I remember as a kid back in the 1980s, seeing the consumer culture was only getting ramped up, and it was nowhere near as big as it is today. For the most part, the husbands control the finances, and the savings and investment gap today versus then was nowhere near as big. People also didn't go on globe-trotting vacations to find themselves while losing $10,000 to $20,000 in the process. I say write a travel blog, take some pictures or make videos, and let your vacation pay you dividends for years to come, the way I did with my travel channel. To all the women listening, you can still show off your selfies just like you always have. But I guess it's only crazy people like me that actually want to work on a vacation. But getting back to women consuming like capitalists but complaining like communists. The first time I noticed this was back in the 1980s when my grandmother would visit and live with me and my family here in Canada. She was enjoying the better standard of living here than in communist Eastern Europe, all while complaining about how bad it was over there. But while she was here, she was complaining about how America and Canada and their leaders were evil and oppressing the rest of the world financially. If she felt that way, then why come here? It's kind of like the same thing that happens when people from other cultures come here and want to tear down the West, but also want to enjoy its spoils. But if they succeed destroying it, then they'll lose all their free and easy money. This is the type of world we live in, one where people do one thing and say something completely different, without realizing there's a contradiction there. Mostly women, of course. Pretty much the same way that Bella Thorne is helping adult content creators by having hundreds of thousands of them financially punished. Ironically, she probably still sees the outcome that she created as being positive for others, even though it messed up their financial outcomes. But for her, it's virtue signaling points, even if it means destroying the lives of others. That sort of female behavior is not going to change anytime soon. Anyways, that's it for today. Thanks again to Mark Starr for the donation and topic. Don't forget to smash the like button the way that Bella Thorne will end up smashing her career to pieces and end up looking like Thora Birch in less than 10 years. Bang the bell and check out the mystery link. Follow me on BitChute, Twitter, and Facebook to get tomorrow's video today. Subscribe to me on Minds and Gab to get the video for the day after tomorrow. This channel's been demonetized, so if you want to get back at corporate censors, demonetize them by taking away their ad dollars by installing the Brave browser. Link is down below. It also helps me out and you get cryptocurrency for viewing ads as well. You can also help me out through Subscribestar. Thanks for taking your daily dose of red pills, and remember, a red pill a day keeps the young 20-year-old female celebrities that end up looking like overweight soccer moms and less than 10 years away. So enjoy the rest of your day, and cheers.